Let me tell you about a story. Now we're gonna talk about the law enforcement arrived hunting clowns, how they wear their badge like a plastic crown, how they're sticking to a story of which they are now bound. It's a rabbit hole they don't want you to go down. But over in Wisconsin, they're doubling down. You see, they framed them once, then they did it again. They did not count on filmmakers making them in. They thought their lives were safe, all went by the ruse. They did not figure on 19 million views. It'll make you shake your head and probably frown. But over in Wisconsin, they're doubling down.
Everybody hit that like button, please. Hey, Travis.
I said they double down. They're going to triple down. They're headed down a road which they cannot turn around. They walk around like they'll be home free, because they control all the evidence on the local judges and found is the state's AG. But I got some news. It's as plain as day. It doesn't matter what the state or the guilty say. Oh, we got Kathleen. She's got them in her sights. She's a real life hero, turning wrongs to right. And no matter how hard that state's gavel pounds, over in Wisconsin, they're coming down. No matter how hard that state's gavel pounds, their house of cards is a coming down. It'll make you shake your head and probably frown. Over in Wisconsin, they're coming down.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Whoops, I almost hit the wrong button. Hello. How's everybody doing? So, I don't know. Tonight, we're just kind of on my other channel here, goofing around. Then again, I don't know. If somebody here gets fired up about something and, gets interesting, I'll invite you into the hangout and let you tell the world. So, hello, everybody. Hi, Allie. Yeah, T get fired up a lot. Yeah, T was fired up today about Brendan, so it gave me the idea. So if anybody out there is fired up about, wants to, vent about something about Brendan and whatever, let us know about it in the chat, and if you want, we'll bring you in and you can say it with your own voice. Paul, yeah, he's yeah. There was actually an interesting comment on his video today, though. Brought up something I guess I should probably address, because when I saw this comment, I was a little bit kind of confused by it. But I just wanted to make clear, because of if anybody, I don't know, a couple things I've heard, whatever. But if I just want to make it clear that anything that anybody here on this channel that comes in as a guest says elsewhere does not necessarily reflect me or what this channel is about. I just want to make sure everybody understands that everybody out here, everybody that we all meet in this journey, they're all individuals. So I don't know if there was any misconception about my channel having any ill will towards any other channel in any way. Just want to clear that up. on this channel or on my main Making a Murderer channel. Either way, just want to clear that up now, because that doesn't happen. But if some people that are active on my channel possibly do things elsewhere, well, don't hold that against me, you know. And I don't know. I just wanted to address that. I don't like, for there to be any kind of bad blood or, just like, I don't know, underlying, just stuff. And I'd rather just say, look, for me, it's, if there's a problem with something somebody who's been on my channel said somewhere, that's one thing, but it doesn't reflect me. I just wanted to go ahead and make that clear. I support every other person out there that's on YouTube or on, even if it's just podcasting. If they're creating awareness about these cases, I support them. It doesn't matter who they are. Even if I don't know who they are at this moment in time as I'm speaking to you, I still support them. That's my attitude. I just want to make that absolutely clear to anybody who might have been doubting or wondering or questioning. So T isn't going to come in here. I respect T. He's just, he's attached to his ball gag. I'm not pushing. I'm not going to push T. Hello, T. What's up, buddy? Let's see. Is he afraid Scooby and Shaggy? Oh, dude, he's totally afraid of Scooby and Shaggy. Totally. I mean, geez. Did you hear how sharp Scooby was? You guys get that on I uploaded some of Scooby to my channel. I uploaded some of that talk with Scooby and Travis to my other channel and stuff. Scooby's sharp, man. You're not getting nothing by Scooby. Let's see. The views and opinions are. I gotta pull my monitor closer. Hold on a second. It's going all squinty on you guys again. The views and opinions are those of let's see. Opinions are those of the individual and not necessarily the views of the management on the channel. There we go. There, that legal speak right there. That I guess sums it up right there. I guess I probably do have to put this disclaimer now, like the way you just said it right here. The views and opinions are those of the individual and not necessarily the views of the management of this channel. I probably need to put that somewhere now. The legal speak, but yeah, it's true. But above that, I mean, look, my attitude, hands down, no matter what, hands down. If you ever have any doubt, then you don't need to have any doubt, because literally, even if there's people out there creating awareness about this case who I don't even know their name or who they are or even that they exist at this point in time, I support them even though I don't know they exist. That's my official stance. That's what Erekose on Making a Murderer stands for. That's the line in the sand here. So that is what's going on. That is the truth. So if you hear something that contradicts that, come to me and speak to me about it, and I'll let you know. Because that's my official stance. I doubt anybody's ever going to catch me breaking it. Ever. Let's see here. Scooby is amazing. The unedited version of Scooby and her expertise can be seen there. Yes, thank you, Denise. Hulk not anti-government or LE. Hulk anti-corruption. Yeah, especially bullying innocent people. Absolutely, absolutely. T. It's seeing the powerless get trampled over. That's the real sad part. And Brendan was the lamb to the slaughter. And I say lamb because that's the term that just so brilliantly sums up exactly what Brendan was. And he was a lamb to the slaughter. Nobody acts as my representative other than me. That's basically what I'm getting at. So it's good to know you guys understand that. Just wanted to make it clear though. Just wanted to have it out there in the ether. Just in case there were any that doubted. Capaldi's awake, actually. Let me see if I can get him in here. I don't know if he might be off to work. Let's see. See. Yeah, he's got to be busy because he's not checking messages at the moment. So, not sure. I could post the link to this. All right. So, hey, look, I'm not against. You guys only have to go and look at my videos from last year at Christmas time. Go and look at my videos from last year at Christmas time. It's the proof. The proof is in my, actions. I don't really feel a need to convince anybody so much. But last year at Christmas time, I was campaigning for people to get up and maybe not do videos like I do, but I was trying to get them to get up at Christmas time and make one video talking about why they support Stephen and Brendan. Just the one thing most about the case that bugged them, make a quick, say, 2 to 5 minute video to talk about whatever. Or I had another option of, or tell everybody your story about how you got into supporting Stephen and Brendan, like you watched MAM, or or you were one of the latecomers and watched it later. People always had kind of interesting different stories, or their cousin or friend suggested it and got them. So there was always interest. So I loved to hear these stories. So I was encouraging people to do one of those two things: either talk about the thing about the case that was the most biggest deal to them, or to talk about how they got into it. And I was trying to get people to do that. I mean, so the proof for me is right there. I encourage as much awareness about the case as possible. That's my official stance. That will not change. So, just felt it couldn't hurt to make that absolutely clear. So, let's see. Shoot. Hey, Travis, you better not be saying shoot because of Capaldi. I better be shoot because of something else. Just FYI, Captain Crunch was buried in LA. Yeah, L. Fallon, you do keep trying to say that. You're verging on being madder than the Mad Scotsman. That's saying something. Do I ever leave this room? I do. I support Brendan because they kidnapped him until he repeated what they said. Yeah. I watched MAM after everyone else, before MAM 2 came out, and then went to read some books about crime. It's what I typically do when I'm interested in a crime story. Next step was finding you. Oh, well, thank you. I'm flattered. Shoot, because Paul can't join. Oh, well, who knows? He may become free, at least for a little bit at some point here. He might just be with a pupil at the moment. He is a music teacher and he teaches. He has pupils. He goes around and tutors and stuff like that. So he can run, but he can't hide. Well, we'll set it up for if we have to. We'll set it up for what would be our morning, and that will be his like evening, and then we'll get Mark Hodnott in so he can be Judge Wilfox, and this should get interesting actually. I don't want to like let the cat out of the bag of what's been talked about, but if we get, looks like we've got Mark back on board to come back over and start goofing around with us on this again, because he was Judge Wilfox the first time. For those of you who watched the thing I uploaded the other day, Judge Wilfox was, I mean, he was hilarious as Judge Wilfox, and so we'll have him come in and kind of bring some you know, sanity back to the proceedings, you know, and basically we have a very interesting idea of where to take this whole crunch saga thing, and we'll have to see what everybody thinks of it. We'll have to see what you guys think of it. But like I said, the whole crunch thing is always all in good fun. There's never anything serious about it. Just for those who don't know, it's just something we do for fun to goof off and blow off a little bit of steam. So just to be clear, it's never anything to get super upset about. It's just something funny. Yeah, Altadena eggnog. You know, Altadena is good dairy products though, but you know, yeah, what are you gonna do? That was right out of Monty Python video, I swear. Just started Sean's book. Oh, cool, cool. You mean Sean Atwood? Life of Brian. I love the Life of Brian. That movie's so funny. We have the bloody birth certificate. Let's see. I demand evidence that Captain Crunch even exists, and I've never seen him. You know, it's funny that you say that, Karen, because that's exactly where our next point of defense is going to go. In very much the same way that Kathleen Zellner is asking to want to test the bones, which it would seem have, well, most of them have already been given back to the hall box. We're going to basically be asking for where is Captain Crunch, because ever since the interrogation, which this is the envelope with the discovery with the transcripts of the interrogation was sent here, right? So ever since then, we don't know. We don't know where he is. So that's another thing that Mr. Capaldi and Scotland Yard have to actually answer for, and they have to produce Captain Crunch or explain where he is and why he is indisposed. So, but I'll let Judge Wilfox, you know, explain all that when the time comes. See, Altadena is the best eggnog. Hey, Falcon, what's up, buddy? Hey, Falcon, just wanted to let you know, buddy, wasn't trying to single you out the other night when we were talking about my new moderators and stuff. I just wanted you to know that, in case you felt like I was a little bit heavy on you per se. I wasn't really. Um, I'll put it this way: the fact that I chose to use you as an example means I have a lot of respect for you, and I think you could take it. So I just wanted you to know that. Wasn't really trying to ride you so much when that night, but having said that, the points that I was making by using you and other people are still true. I still do want, especially on the other channel, I really do want the chat to stay kind of on point with what the topic of the video is. That hasn't changed, but wanted to make clear to you that I have nothing personal against you, buddy. It's just, I was just using you as an example. Like I said, it's because I had a little bit of respect for you and figured you could take it. That's why I went ahead and used your name. We have requested buccal swabs of his. Yeah, there you go. We're requesting buccal swabs. There you go. That'll get the DNA for Karen. It'll let us know that Captain Crunch is still, actually somewhere. Because obviously we're wondering where he is, because we haven't been able to find him since this supposed interrogation. Berkeley Farms eggnog. I know everybody's got a local dairy that's the best, right? Okay, Paul. Paul is crunch. You think Paul is crunch? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, maybe that's what that wig is for. I don't know. Anyway, maybe. Your live. I'm glad you liked my live with Ripper. Hey, I used to think the world of the Ripper, of Ripper when I first came into all this and stuff, and he was making his videos. The first one was that Colburn call one, and everybody was all into that one. And then he made another one about the fishiness of Pam Sturm, and then he made the burn videos about this llama that had unfortunately met its demise there on his property. And those videos were just really interesting. So him and I were friends, and he's the one that encouraged me to start making videos, actually. And he he was telling me, because he knew how I felt about Brendan, and he was just like, "Oh, dude, make a video about Brendan, and eventually I did. I sat on it for a long time. I was just like everybody else, they don't want to get on camera. I was the same way. It was like for a month I was like thinking about it, and then eventually he said, just go get this software. And actually, once I spent the $80 to get the editing software, then I was pretty much, that's it, I'm doing this. Because once I'd spent money, I was like, that's it, we're doing this. So that kind of basically got me over the hump. But anyway, no, yeah, Johnny's great. I love Johnny, or Ripper. And it was really a blast talking to him. And he really is, I mean, he is really impressed with the Wrecking Crew. I'll tell you what, Denise was knocking his socks off the way she was popping up with the links like that. Just all the relevant links, just pop, 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 pop. He was just like, he was telling me afterwards, he was like, oh, wow, that was amazing. The way that your moderators were popping up with the relevant links like that, and just like so quickly, like just Denise blew him away. Blew him away. So great job, Denise. Just want to say that. If Captain Crunch was the first in the fleet, Australians could be the descendants of Captain Crunch. Erekose, in my hat is better, but the Mad Scotsman is mad. He is definitely, and we love him for it. Someone typed earlier he's buried. Yeah, that was L Fallon keeps trying to tell us that he's dead and buried in LA. I think she's madder than the Mad Scotsman, but let's see. I've said hi to him as Captain Crunch before. Okay. My homemade eggnog is awesome. Eggnog, bourbon, brandy, and spicy melody. Jeez. Thank you. Yes, I endeavor to stay on the subject. I agree. It's important. Yep, you're welcome, Falcon. No problem, buddy. Just wanted to clear that up in case there was any misunderstandings. Let's see. I remember Captain Kangaroo. I barely remember Captain Kangaroo. Let's see. He was very kind to use Joey. Hold the phone. Karen Guinea says he is an Aussie. That is a legal wrinkle I hadn't anticipated. Well, we'll address that. Let's see. BD is Hulk's favorite superhero. BD's courage to facing monsters every day. The Hulk and T1 have no words for that kind of courage. No words. Yes. So, and I agree. Brendan continues to endure this injustice, but he does it with a certain amount of dignity. Whenever you see him, and I see the pictures of him on Facebook a lot because I'm in his. There's two Facebooks. There's a lot more than two, but there's two official groups for him, and several other groups for him, and a lot of the pictures when his mom or other family go and visit him get posted in those groups. I mean, the kid's always smiling. I say kid. I mean, he's no longer a kid when you look at him, but I mean, in a lot of ways, being stuck in prison, I think he probably is still a lot like the 16-year-old. Now he has gotten his high school diploma. He's educated himself. He's definitely not the same same young man that went in. But he's in terms of the ways of the world, he is still kind of a teenager, similar to the way that Steven is. I feel Steven's never been able to form. He was never able to form he wasn't able to form like healthy practices when it comes to relationships with women, and maybe just in society at large in general. And I think a lot of that was stinted by being in prison for so much time. And when he got out, he wasn't exactly Casanova. He wasn't exactly the smoothest guy. And I think that all attributes to the fact that he was, had his youth taken from him. And I think that Brendan's also going to be on the same kind of in a similar situation, that when Brendan does get out, he's going to be still kind of in the thinking of his 16-year-old self. And that's one thing that worries me about him. But I think in a lot of other ways, though, he has improved himself. He's educated himself. He reads a lot. He does a lot of those things. And so I root for Brendan, because, I mean, Brendan's what got me here. You're seeing my talking head on this screen right now because Brendan. I do believe that Stephen was framed, but I am absolutely certain in every way when it comes to Brendan. You're only proving my point, as Australia is one of the most multicultural countries in the world. Well, under your theory, Captain Crunch could be Hawaiian or Kiwi or Aussie. We need voice recognition software. Wants to see Paul do the hula. Let's see. Pat and his wife, kangaroo, and definitely buried in. Okay. Find out Captain Crunch's real name. It's Horatio Magellan Crunch. Who knows his crew's name? Who knows? Come on. Maybe I'm Captain Crunch. Maybe my Captain Crunch decoder ring will help solve this. Damn, I knew I should have kept mine. Let's see. Denise Rainey, are you agreeing? Are you agreeing with me? Erekose may block us. Hey, man, you know what? If you make a conscious decision to go along with the Mad Scotsman, well, you made a decision. So you can't blame anybody but yourself. A current IQ test? I don't know. I don't think so. How about Ancestry.com? Well, we got to get Mr. Capaldi to produce the buccal swabs first, because nobody, we haven't been able to contact our client. Let's see. Don't get your panties in a twist. Messing with you. Give it up, Captain Crunch. Let's see. I think they said in one of the appeals, he's in the mid 80s now for his IQ. It was during the actual court portion. Okay, there you go. That's so about Brendan. So in the mid 80s, when he was going through the Court of Appeals. So yeah, that'd be basically probably about 7 years ago, 5 years ago, roughly. Hey, I say he's the very geriatric. That's why we're so worried about him, Marissa. I mean, he's very, very fragile old man, you know. Of course, Capaldi would only pick on children like Brendan. Six's attack dogs, Wiegert and Fassbender, on it would be either a child like Brendan or a very geriatric old man like Captain Crunch. You don't think they'd go after anybody else, do you? Are you kidding me? Yeah, his IQ is borderline. I mean, and you know, I don't even need to do an IQ test to know that. I can tell by watching him in the interview and watching his demeanor and watching just him. I can tell that he's not comfortable with himself yet. He hasn't really found his identity yet. He's unsure of himself. All of these things all conspire to make him very susceptible and vulnerable to what Tom and Mark did to him. Don't we have a TARDIS? I wish we had a TARDIS. If I had a TARDIS. Oh, if I had a TARDIS. And yes, they are bigger on the inside, so we would all be able to fit up. The whole wrecking crew would be able to go. Oh, there's a lot of places in history that I'd want to go, but where I would go first is pretty close to the mark where we are right now. The touching of the knee, yeah, that's what I love about some of Stacy's songs. You know, is when he talks about the touching the knee. You know, I think that's brilliant. In fact, I think that's a good segue to play a Stacy Seabrook song. Okay. And sorry, I was just reading a message from somebody. So I think maybe we play the song that talks about that. So let me find it. Oops. All right, we're gonna play a song real quick.
Oh, they say you can trust us. All but they use the bed for an illusion of justice. Oh, they say you can trust us. All but they use the flag for an illusion of justice. It's indefensible. Oh, now what they did, convict an innocent man twice with a 16-year-old kid. Yes, we can't turn away, pretending all the pieces fit. All but if we turn away, we let them get away with it. Oh, they say you can trust us. All but they use the badge for an illusion of justice. Oh, they say you can trust us. All but they use the flag for an illusion of justice. Of justice. We need a wrecking crew to tear this whole thing down. Oh, did you hear the news? There's a new sheriff in town. Not the knee touching one. Not the one supported by them clowns.
Oh, the superhero one.
She's
Gonna tear their house of cards down.
Oh, they say you can't trust us. Oh, but they use the badge for an illusion of justice. Oh, they say
Tom Baker is my favorite
you
doctor.
can't trust us. Oh, but they abuse the flag
For an illusion of justice.
We
need a wrecking crew
to tear this whole thing down.
All right. Hello, hello, hello. We're back. Let's see. I am not a music producer. But it's very common for time to stand still for inmates when they're incarcerated. When they get out, they pick up where they left off. Yeah, that's true. That's kind of what I fear for with Brennan is he's still going to be kind of 16 years old mentally when he gets out. Let's see. I was just talking to Stacy too. If he's available tomorrow, I'm going to try and get him on tomorrow, possibly. Got a few things going for tomorrow, though. I don't know if Travis is still here, but tomorrow Travis and I are going to be going over AEDPA. Oh, boy. I can only imagine you guys are going to hear me get pretty fired up about it. But we're going to also have Travis there to explain the legal speak of it and to help us understand. Oh, he's here. Hey there, dude. And he can help us understand, you know, how and why it got interpreted the way it did. We can possibly go into how it was maybe well-meaning but got off track. We can go into all the things about it, but no matter what, we all need to create the discussion about AEDPA. We need to make that discussion that discussion needs to really become an important discussion among Americans, in my opinion. And hopefully Travis and I tomorrow will be able to give people some real actual info, some understanding of the technicalities of it, so that people can talk about AEDPA and know something a bit about what they're talking about. Let's see here. Hope BD has people looking out for him in prison. That's awesome. I was going to email and ask you to go over it. Let's see. Like I said, So AEDPA is tomorrow. That's going to be on the other channel, obviously. EDPA. I say AEDPA because I feel that gives people more of an understanding that it's an acronym for something, and I feel it just conveys a little tiny bit more nuance, I guess. Like I said, even if Brendan is guilty, i.e. he did the crime for which he's accused, I do believe there were extenuating circumstances. I know what you mean, Falcon. I believe I asked you about that probably maybe 3 nights ago in a hangout, and I respect that. It tells me that you at least recognize there's issues there, and no matter what, he didn't deserve what he got. So I'll settle for that. I'll accept that, and I can respect that. AEDPA would be a great topic. Can't wait. It's coming tomorrow. Travis is putting together a little PowerPoint and everything to make it all a little bit more easy to understand for everybody. You mean you sound more authoritative when you say AEDPA? I suppose. I guess I'm just feeding my ego here. That's all I'm doing. Yeah. Okay, EDPA it is fine. EDPA. Travis is gonna need a secretary. I need a secretary. Jeez, I need some kind of personal assistant. Oh yeah. If you're from the South, yeah. Let's see here. Join the wrecking crew and hang out. Yep, if you want. They're talking about the case there generally pretty much all the time. Or points of the case or cases. So, you know, so tomorrow at some point we're supposed to do a live where I got to get Mark Hodnott. For those of you who don't know Mark Hodnott, I know some of you got familiar with him in when I re-uploaded the Crunch Court thing here the other day. He was the one playing the Judge Will Fox. That's my good buddy Mark. We're hopefully going to get him in there tomorrow with me and Travis. And me and Travis going to be busy beavers tomorrow because obviously if we're doing EDPA on that channel and we're doing Crunch over here with Mark and Paul, we're going to be pretty busy. So, but it's going to be fun though as well. So we'll have to, Paul and I got right now because I actually have a little bit of time off work. Paul and I have some time to goof off with the whole Captain Crunch thing for a little bit. So it's and I hope you guys are all finding it amusing. It's just something that if we don't goof off every once in a while, we just get too like blah about the case. We get too sometimes you just got to take a step back. You got to try to just take a little bit of a step back and put the case aside for a minute. And that's what kind of arguing with Paul about Captain Crunch kind of helps me to do. It helps me to step back away from the case for a minute, look at something else in an amusing way, and kind of change my perspective and help me come at everything anew afterward. So I know some people out there may think it's kind of silly and goofy. I understand. So yeah, Mark is awesome. I love Mark. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, you gotta back off every once in a while. If you get too intense, it can work against you. Captain Crunch will tear the roof off of your mouth. Yeah, if you use the biggest spoon in the drawer and just like shovel it in 3 spoonfuls at a time, it'll tear you up pretty good. But if you get like a normal spoon and just eat it like at a normal rate, it doesn't really do that much damage. It all depends on the kind of way that you eat your cereal. If you're the type of person that shovels your cereal in, yeah, Captain Crunch will probably hurt you a little bit. Yeah, I'm buffering bad. Plus, Chad is well ahead of live. So it's rough trying to stay on topic. It's all good though. My brain functions. I see. I used to call them mental health days when I took time off work, needed a break. Yeah, I know what you mean. Gotta let it soak in milk. And you Captain Crunch, yeah. Let's see. All the berry. Let's see. Oops, all berries is fave of mine, but it can be rough on the rooftop. I don't like crunch berries. I never have. I like the peanut butter Captain Crunch though. I love that. If you eat like my son, it's gonna hurt. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Adrian knows what I'm talking about. If you're the type of person that like shovels your cereal in, Captain Crunch is gonna hurt you. silly and goofy to besmirch the name and honor of the Royal Navy. Ask the Argentinians what happened if you do that. Remember the Falklands. Peanut butter crunch, you like that spicy? I do too. I love it. We will not abide this aggression. Hey, Travis, we got to make them produce Captain Crunch at this point, because hey, we have not been able to reach our client ever since this supposed interview or interrogation. Ever since I received these transcripts, man, dude, we haven't seen our client. So like we got to take a page from KZ's book, and we got to force them to produce evidence that our client still lives. Sometimes you need to step away from a project and then reapproach it. See what is the first thing that bugs you about it, and something that did not occur before. Absolutely. It's like I say, it's something I try to do often. This is not the first time that Paul and I have argued about Captain Crunch. This is not going to be the last time that Paul and I argue about Captain Crunch. So, but it is a very effective way for me to blow off steam when I need to. So he doesn't eat, he inhales. I know I was the same way when I was a kid. That's how I learned how to eat Captain Crunch, because I learned not to inhale my cereal because I didn't want Captain Crunch to hurt the roof of my mouth. But I liked the way Captain Crunch tasted. So I learned to eat like a civilized human being because I didn't want Captain Crunch to hurt the roof of my mouth. Let's see. There was Christmas crunch in the stores the past month. Oh, there's so many different kinds of crunch. It's, oh my gosh. There's a guy on YouTube who he's like the official crunch expert. Dude has like a pair of like Converse shoes that have like Captain Crunch and his crew all over them. It's like this dude was like obsessed, but he like had like every single box of Captain Crunch cereal that they'd ever made. He had it. He had pictures. It was funny. It was hilarious. They interrogated my client without counsel present. Correct, Marissa. That's absolutely correct. Now you know what we're getting up about. Now you know why we think Capaldi has something to answer for. Captain Crunch is gone walkabout. More evidence of his Australian heritage. There's an urban legend about Pop Rocks. Let's see. I'm still drinking this damn Dr. Pepper from 2 hours ago. Really? Oh, dude, man. A can of Dr. Pepper I poured into my glass, it doesn't last 20 minutes. I switched over to Dos Equis now, so I drink those a little bit slower. We are that wrecking crew to tear this whole thing down. See, there was 2 reasons why I played that song, because I love those lyrics at the end about the wrecking crew, but also because somebody was talking about how they hate it when Wiegert touches Brendan's knee. And I love that lyric in Illusion of Justice at the end where he talks about, have you heard the news? There's a new sheriff in town, not the knee touching one. Not the one supported by them clowns. It's, so there was that lyric, and about Wiegert being the knee touching one. I love Illusion of Justice. I think Stacy just keeps getting better and better as he goes, honestly. The magistrate on the case may need to sentence Capaldi to the national anthem as punishment for. He's already done it. Back when he won, he went ahead and got on. He made a video of him singing the Star Spangled Banner, and there's a reason why I say he is the Mad Scotsman. This is not. You people just haven't learned yet. You'll get there. You'll get there. Oh, thank you, Denise. I'm glad that you weren't like covering your ears. Let's see. Can we modify it so he has to do the the hula while he sings it? I love you, man. Thanks for always making me laugh. You're welcome, Andy. Anyone else OG enough to remember when Erekose said he refused to sing and never would? Sela. Oh, hey, Sela. Dang it. You know what? Sela, you know what? I don't get to see Sela that much anymore. I remember Sela was in almost every live, every video after October 19th when I would go live. I remember I would always see Sela's name. I see Sela less and less. Well, glad to see you there, Sela. Truly. Haven't been seeing as much of you. Maybe you've been here and just haven't been as active in the chat, but I am happy to see you. Good night. Can we modify it so he has to do yeah. We need to take two. We need to take two this time. He has to hula. Let's see. Yes, Hulk 8 Edpa. Let's see. Remember how the cops were all freaked out about how Blaine's boss was all touchy on Blaine? What was that about? Yeah. But they didn't care about touching Brendan. That's interesting. Yes, hula, not Hulu. Erekose, get him to sing the Canadian one in French and English and in English. He would love it probably because he's a music teacher. Let's see. Good night, Elf Allen. See, Travis and I will probably be going about somewhere between 11 and 12 Pacific Standard Time, 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Somewhere in there is when Travis and I will start. And then I think we'll have to do the crunch thing later in the evening tomorrow. Actually, I need to talk to Mark Hodnott first and find out what his timing is because he's the one in Australia. So I gotta figure out what his timing is going to be. Let me talk to Paul and find out what his timing is, and I'll get back to you on when the crunch is going to happen. But Travis and I should be, like I said, sometime between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that'll be about 2 o'clock Central, about 3 o'clock Eastern. You blame any weird behavior from Erekose on Dr. Pepper? Let's see. Some people have bedtimes. I know. I'm sorry, Adrian. Get your questions about EDPA ready for tomorrow. Yeah, read about it here. There you go. Thank you, Denise. Good idea, people. Go to that link. Get together some questions about EDPA while we're going to be going over it, and Travis is going to be here, the legal mind, to be able to kind of interpret and give you hopefully meaningful answers to your questions. I'm waiting for the day he has to play his accordion for us. Oh, dude, you only have to ask him. He's done it before. You only have to ask him. He loves playing. He loves showing off. You people have no idea who you're dealing with. The guy is a total ham. He will totally ham it up if you give him a reason. EDPA is a fast track to kill innocence and rights. Not its original intent, but quickly changed to do that. Yeah, by the Supreme Court's interpretation of it, by the Supreme Court's, from what seems like by most quarters, by their radical interpretation of it, it went way off, of course, of what it was, intended to do and what its aim was. Because how something that has to do with terrorism and death penalty has anything to do with Brendan, I have no idea. How the hell did that happen? What in the flip was going on there? So part of this falls to our lawmakers, and part of it falls to the justices of the Supreme Court who interpreted it in such a poor way. Okay, so it might even end up. Let me see. 7 a.m. Is that too early for you, Karen? Oh, you do? You have a video of you playing the accordion? See, we got to get Karen and Paul together to play the accordion together on a video. So, all right, Travis, we'll plan it for noon tomorrow. That way it gives Karen a chance, at least, that at least it'll be 7 a.m. her time. She has to get up instead of 6. So, I don't know if Travis is still here. But that'll be the plan then. We'll try to go at noon Pacific Standard Time. Here's Capaldi playing his accordion. He's shoot. I forget exactly where he is. Oh, thank you, Adrian. Thank you. I think you're great too, so. So, yeah, so anyways, that's it with Paul. It's just mainly having a little fun. I gotta say it was exciting to get to talk to Johnny again today. I mean, like I said, Johnny was a big part of how I got into this. I mean, I started out as a researcher on this and was just digging into everything because I wanted to argue about it on Facebook and on YouTube and stuff. But back then I was just a commenter. That's it. I was just a commenter. Then I kind of started hanging out with Johnny, kind of became part of that little group he was talking about. Michelle M, Christina, Jennifer. I mean, there was a few. I mean, we had a little group there and everything. And yeah, I was just talking to him today, man. I was bringing some of it back, and I still talk to and Cindy Cranford. Yeah. By the way, folks, those of you who don't know, I know she'd love it. If you haven't heard of it, Justice for Quinn. You can probably find it pretty easily on Facebook. That's my friend Cindy Cranford's cause. It's in Canada. It's about a little girl who was brutalized by basically her father. It's a horrible case, and my friend Cindy's been like on top of that case and made every court hearing, arraignments for this guy and all the various court hearings. She's there to help support Quinn's family. She's kind of like the rock that keeps kind of Quinn's family, up, supported at these hearings and stuff like that. She's a real champ. I love Cindy Cranford. She is a champ. And that's her cause, Justice for Quinn, by the way. So any of you who are interested in going over there and giving her a kind word or something like that, you can. If you look up Justice for Quinn on Facebook, you'll probably get some result. Anyway, to talking about all those folks, and I still talk to some of them, but not like we used to, man. Not like the way it was when we were just like, waiting for the document drops, waiting for Skip Top to get some more of the documents and then waiting for those to drop, and and then we'd all be digging into them and reading them and going through them and all that sort of stuff. That was what was, and it was just, I mean, talking to Johnny tonight was just bringing all of that back, all of what it was like in the beginning and all that stuff. And I don't know, that was part of what was nice talking to Johnny, talking to Ripper, and yeah, it was real fun. It was really good. It was, yeah, to reconnect with somebody like that who I was really, really close to for, I don't know, say the first year and a half after watching Making a Murderer, and to just, be able to mention some of those folks here in a video today and here now that I haven't really mentioned before, but they're all good folks. And I don't know, it was a very, very, very pleasant experience to be able to talk to Johnny today. I hope you guys all liked it. Let's see. He doesn't have daylight savings. Let's see. He's actually good. Paul. Is Paul in here? 2-2. Dang it. You're funny, T1. Funny guy. Let's see. 2-2-2. Wow, everybody got stuck on that. Wow. Let's see. Quinn's case overview and link above. There you go. In California, because in Canada. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, that's my friend Cindy's passion there is little Quinn. And I'm happy to help. I'm happy to bring more awareness to it. And I hope that guy gets what's coming to him, because I know Canada can be known to be lenient. But I hope this guy gets what's coming to him. I think that the support has always been there. Even when people fell away after the first season of MAM1, there was still a core of people there, a solid core of people who were still talking about it every day. I'm one of them. There's many others. There's a lot of other people who were still in the groups, still in the documents, still digging things quietly, kind of going through and having an interest in the case. There were people out there during the last 3 years that, like, almost never a day went by where they weren't like posting something about Brendan and Steven on their personal Facebook newsfeed and on their Twitter every day religiously. So there's always been that, and my hope is that with Zellner right now, the way she's turning up evidence and the way things are going, I think it's different. I think it is different. You guys will be able to determine that for yourselves as you go on. That's the thing you're going to find out. You're going to find out is, do I have what it takes to be an activist? And that's what essentially we are here. And eventually you're going to ask yourself the question is, can I do this? Do I want to do this? For me, the answer to both of those questions is yes. In fact, I would not feel very good with myself if I walked away from this. I'll put it this way. I would feel so uncomfortable in my own skin that it makes the thought of it just very, very unpleasant. That's the way I feel about it. But I feel like this is only going to add to the ranks of the solid core of people who maybe didn't catch on the first time but will this time, and add to that main core of people who keep this case and the awareness of this case in the public eye, doing everything they can on the social medias, the public forums, and doing everything they can to keep the awareness of this case alive. No matter what, that core is there, and hopefully that core is growing now. That's, I guess, the best way I can answer you, T1. That's the way I see it. It's the same in the sense that we're adding more. We're getting more people in, but it's by what you mean by the same is, do you think it's going to be the same as before or whatever? I think no, we're going to have now more of those quality people who really care and just couldn't let this go. And they're going to be more of those people like I was talking about that have just been on top of this every day for 3 years, virtually every day. Maybe miss a day here and there, but generally, I like, for instance, the TikTok Manitowocks, the Mystic Jinxes, numerous other Twitter handles that, I mean, very rarely miss a day where they don't put up something pretty darn thought-provoking. So anyways, that's all there. That core is just getting added onto. So that's my official stance. And oh, Falcon's trying to compare us with cartoon characters. Oh, see, I can't walk away now that I know what I know, but I don't know what level I can be involved time and energy wise. Well, that's just it, right? I mean, everybody can kind of define that for themselves. A saying that I used to say a lot, when I first started doing YouTube videos was, I can understand that this all becomes too much for you at times. And this is what I used to say. I can understand how this all can become too much. It can overweigh you, especially when you start getting into kind of some of the interpersonal drama amongst personalities. That can be particularly taxing. And you start getting into those things. So I used to tell people, I can understand how you want to walk away for a minute. And I used to tell them, and I understand that and fully support you. But just remember that you got to walk back at some point, because we need you to come back at some point when you've gathered your thoughts again, when you've regrouped. We need you to come back, and we need you sober thinking back into the community again. And this is back before, I used to say this back before I had the community like I have now. I now have the Wrecking Crew, which are very adept, and they're ready to dig in on a moment's notice. But even back before I had anything like the Wrecking Crew, this is the way that this is the way I felt. And yeah, so it's, yeah. But I can understand how you have to, basically, try to pace yourself. Don't try to be Superman or Superwoman, and realize that you got to do proper things like eat properly and sleep, and take care of yourself. But when you find that you can't get the thoughts of the injustice out of your mind and everything, then you can always come on back, and you can spend a couple weeks digging into some aspects of the case again. If there's a constant flow of people constantly circulating in and out, then there's always going to be people there digging in, looking in, and researching, and that sort of thing. And not all 100 people have to be going, full burnout mode 100% of the time. It's not necessary. When you have a big enough group, as you guys have so brilliantly created, and I know I'm helping to create it, but as it's forming, it's creating the ability where, a constant research can be happening, but not 100% of the researchers have to be burning out 100% of the time. So I think that's what's brilliant about what you guys are doing. Let's see. Falcon's still talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Let's see. So yeah, you guys know how I feel, man. You guys are doing great work. You guys are, getting involved, and for that, you guys deserve, a hand. So I know it's easy for a lot of people to just walk away and go, you know what? It's not my kid, not my brother, not my uncle, not my whatever. And it's easy for people to walk away, but you guys didn't do that. You guys are the ones that went, yeah, there's something wrong here. I'm not cool with that. And that makes you guys special. But yes, pace yourselves. Okay, Falcon. It's always on my mind, though. So if I have thoughts, I can share them and help when I'm here. Let's see. Yes, unfortunately, some people take things on too hard and burn out. I'm well aware of that. Absolutely. So true. A good balance goes a long way. Absolutely. Everyone needs true balance, team effort. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you guys see me doing what I do, but In fact, I'm going to be probably talking about this pretty soon because I'm actually hoping to get a special guest on, but I'm not going to talk about that until I actually have it confirmed. But there's something that helped me out back when I very first got into this case, or got into these cases. After I watched Making a Murderer season 1, which was January 15th of 2016, is when I finished watching it. And I started digging into this case, and I started joining Facebook groups, and in those Facebook groups I started getting links to documents, and transcripts, and then eventually Skip Top was getting the investigation reports, and those were starting to come out. And so I remember, and I was just spending all of my time when I wasn't at work, all of my time, literally all of my time, just digging in and reading and all that sort of stuff. And I didn't know how, I didn't know what, I don't know. It was all so new to me. Giving a crap and actually taking an interest in doing something about it was all such a new experience to me. I wasn't really thinking about things, really cerebrally, I guess, in that sense. And I eventually ended up, when I started to feel kind of tired at one point, I found a TED Talk. And it's a TED Talk by a guy named Bill Ekstrom. And I mean, it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. And it talks about how comfort can ruin your life. And that's actually the actual name of the TED Talk, is How Comfort Can Ruin Your Life. And what it's about is he talks about how on this day, I believe when he's doing the TED Talk, he said on this day 9, or on this day something like 5 years ago or something like that. He says, I was a big shot. I had the big job. I had stock options and everything was great and da da da. And then one day I get called into into a meeting with my boss or whatever, which isn't out of the ordinary. I, had to have meetings with my boss often, except this day was different because it was a short meeting. He was fired. He talks about how being put into that situation where he was suddenly, all the comfort that he had was gone. It put him into quite a bit of complexity. And so he ended up working with some people and coming up with this whole idea that he now pushes, which is called the growth rings. And the way it goes is that ring number 1 is basically stagnation. That means you stay in your little hole. You don't come outside. You just maintain your existence with very little moving around or any type of whatever. Basically, it's just complete safety, and you're not taking any risks at all. And that's basically stagnation, because you're not learning or growing or anything. You're just stuck in one place. Then he talks about the next ring is what do they call it? What does he call it? He calls it predictability, basically, or basically just, kind of comfort. But it means you're, the way he talks about it is that your normal everyday life, when you go to work and deal with everything you have to in your real life or whatever, it can be different. It can have challenging aspects or whatever. But once you get into a routine, that those things become kind of elementary to you once you've gotten used to dealing with them. So what he talks about is how getting fired that day triggered him into complexity, which is the next ring, the third ring. Fourth ring is just chaos. Okay, the fourth ring is going too far, but the third ring is complexity. And it's very interesting because what happens is when you go into complexity, if you pace yourself, you begin to find out that the thing that's complex, that's hard, that you're having trouble with, by just continuing to ride the bike every day, that you get better at it. It becomes easier to navigate. It becomes easier to do. It becomes almost every aspect of it becomes more routine. And what does it then become? It actually becomes more comfortable. So it starts bringing what you were feeling was complex, and it's bringing that now back into your realm of comfort, and it's dragging that back in. It's brilliant. And it's all I can say about it is, and when I watched that TED Talk, it helped me put things into perspective. It helped me to structure how I, looked at and thought about things in the case. And I don't know, it just, for me, it did a lot of things. But it's absolutely brilliant TED Talk. For those of you who have not checked it out, I highly recommend it. It's absolutely brilliant. And for those of you who are wondering, for those of you who ask that question to yourself, what can we do? Can we make a difference? Can anything we do make a difference? Well, go watch his TED Talk. And the very final line is just boom. The very last thing he says is just absolutely mind-blowing. If you, it's very interesting stuff, so I would highly recommend it. Okay, I've been neglecting the chat here for a minute, so let's take a look. I'm not mad at you, Falcon. I'm not, dude. I get it. You're Buffy and Scooby and stuff. That's cool. We're cool. Hey, we're here arguing about Captain Crunch. I'm not judging you for talking about Buffy and Scooby and that stuff, dude. No worries, man. Let's see. I have to find Sean Atwood's TED Talk. Yeah, you can, but here, let me find Bill's for you. There it is. Here is the link to Bill Ekstrom's TED Talk. Anyway, there it is. That's the link to his TED Talk. Very interesting stuff. So, exactly, Travis. Exactly. That's what happens with comfort, because you get used to a routine, and you get used to that routine because that routine is safe. It's comfortable. It's, what you can count. You have a known outcome generally, or at least you're pretty certain of your outcomes most of the time. But when you head into complexity, you move away from that realm of having predictable outcomes, and you move into a realm of having more a higher frequency of unpredictable outcomes. And that is why it's complexity. And it's like I said, what I found is that by how can we all end up back in comfort all the time? That's because we head out into complexity and we do something and we start tackling it. But as we start tackling it and learning about it and figuring it out, during that process, that whole process of doing that drags it back into comfort. It's interesting. And to put it another way, I spoke about it this way. When I first got into researching these cases and then got into doing YouTube videos and that sort of stuff, that first 2 years, I had moved into the complexity ring. I was way into the complexity ring. I was trying to figure out how all this social media stuff worked. I was trying to, it was all really, really foreign to me when I very first started. So there was all that aspect to it. There was, learning how to be an effective, activist, supporter, however you want to look at it. And all those things. And so for 2 years, the first 2 years, I would say I was well into the complexity ring. But I would say at the end of that 2 years, I had ceased to consider my researching, my making the videos to help make other people aware and all that sort of stuff. I no longer saw that as the complexity ring, or the thing that was complex, or the thing that was causing me complexity. I had learned enough about all of those things that they became familiar to me, and they were kind of brought back into my comfort realm. What's thrown me back into complexity is October 19th, and becoming a bit more important in terms of people looking to me kind of as a rallying point, and which I'm happy to be, as a rallying point for where people are gathering together and creating this very awesome community. Um, but all of that has kind of put me back into complexity again. Not so much the case and that stuff, but I don't know, the sense of responsibility I feel now, um, that I kind of didn't feel previously, has kind of put me back into complexity. So, anyways, I totally suggest for people to watch that TED Talk. It's very interesting, and yeah, that's some of my thoughts about it and how I interpreted it and how I applied it for myself. And I hope you guys find it interesting. I know there's so much complexity, right, in these cases and stuff. And like I say, I know how it can be. I know how it can be overbearing. I know how it can wear you down. And the other thing is people start to get hopeless. They start to feel like there's no hope. Don't do it. Don't do it. You'll see me every time something happens where I feel that where I feel like people might start to lose hope. I'm immediately doing a video where I am projecting, you know, positivity, because I want people to focus on the positivity and not on their negative feelings of wanting to lose hope. It's, don't do it. No matter how dark it looks, the fact of the matter is that there's a lot of people here that are taking an interest, and not just here in the United States, but around the world. It's not a local phenomenon. It's so these are the reasons why I say, no matter how much you may want to lose hope, don't, because there's just too many people that care, and that can't be ignored forever. I don't know. My thoughts about it anyway. Spicy's Spicy's been in there before, I thought. Oh, I see. Going back to what T1 was saying earlier, I'd say the momentum's a little different this time because it's supported by KZ's evidence, where she's going out and proving all of the things that we were saying in the first year. She's going out and proving most of those things. She did go a different way with the blood vial and the blood in the Rav. But other than that, she went out and proved all the things that we were pointing out in the first year. She's pretty much gone out now with experts in scientific testing, and she's proved most of those things right. It's exciting for people that were part of all that to see that happen. Yeah, KZ's testing going along with all of this, I think, is making a difference. T1, I would say that I feel that I can say that. Yeah, definitely. All right, what's happening on Laura's Facebook? Uh-oh. I don't want to know, actually. Yeah, Allie. Take care of yourself, Allie. It's another part of comfort will ruin your life that you have to think about as well, is you have to learn that you have to remember to take care of yourself too. You have to remember to maintain your personal relationships and yourself. Otherwise, working the growth rings isn't really effective, doesn't amount to much. You got to really have that stuff, that good stuff in your life, and you got to be maintaining that good stuff in your life. It makes all of those. It makes working the the growth rings that much more rewarding. And just think about it in life, folks. I mean, when have you always felt more satisfied in life? When you were tackling something that you didn't know, that you were learning, that you were that you had to try really hard to be able to overcome. And when you finally did overcome, wasn't that victory the most rewarding? Aren't those victories the most rewarding? I mean, it just stands to reason. And you just have to look at your involvement in these cases, and in being an activist, as I sometimes say. You just have to look at it that way, that it's building you to a better person. It's building you to be able to take on more uh, more stuff, to be able to donate some more of your own time to causes like Brendan Stevens, Scott Davis, Adam Brazil, Kent, as you saw the shirt Johnny was wearing today, you know, so that you're able to lend your time and create more awareness for these things. And as we create more awareness of the wrongful convictions, we then get the ability to fine tune the criminal justice system here, get it to acknowledge what the data is telling us, get it to change its ways, to get the to basically take that step to prevent the to do our best to prevent as many of the wrongful convictions as possible. Because as I was saying with Ripper earlier, a wrongful conviction hurts a lot of people. Okay, number one, the first person it harms is the victim's family. They walk away from it thinking that the right person met justice, and they're just in blissful ignorance. They don't know how wrong they are. That demeans them. It's not their fault, but it demeans them. Okay, so you start out with that in a wrongful conviction. Then you have the family of the wrongfully convicted and the loved ones of the wrongfully convicted, the kids, and those sort of types of things. You have all them. They're affected by a wrongful conviction. Okay, we've gotten well beyond just one person here, haven't we? We've gotten pretty flippin' far beyond just one person being effective already, right? Now we take into account the actual perpetrator, who actually doesn't get brought to justice and goes on to commit another violent act or two or three or more before they ever get caught and brought to justice, right? And that is the true shame of a wrongful conviction, and why we should give a hell of a lot more of a crap about them than we currently do. That's what I mean. Not tackling, obviously, but not while you're tackling, but when you overcome, right? As I said, anyways, I'm okay. Okay, Falcon, I get what you're saying. I think you're splitting a hair that wasn't there to be split, personally. Anyway, you're right. Yes, having tackled gives you that sense of overcoming. It gives you that stronger sense of satisfaction because you had to work harder tackling it, right? But eventually when you tackle it, or when you overcome it, it's more rewarding. So I hope I'm not, confusing you in any way. Hey, there's Captain Crunch. Hey, Captain, don't worry, dude. We're gonna be getting together with Judge Wilfox tomorrow. Um, we'll be in touch with Mr. Capaldi, and we'll get Judge Wilfox in there. Mr. Travis Williams and Esquire will be there, so we'll be able to go through all this tomorrow there, Horatio. Yeah, I figured so, Falcon. I just had to say it because, you know. It was a goof on the famous Dorothy Parker quote. Oh, right. Right. See, Captain, we know you are being held hostage while the pretender is out issuing press releases. We will save you. Oh, crud. Scooby's on the job. We gave Scooby snacks. Oh. I think it's time for another Stacy song. Yeah, I think I know just the one. All right, we're gonna listen to another Stacy Seabrook song. First, I'm gonna open my beer. Whoa. All right, you guys ready for Stacy? Wow. All right. Well, here we go.
Wisconsin can be so cold. The scales of justice can erode. If we accept lies big and bold, all we forget, we live on Avery Road. We live on Avery Road. Should be easy to see. This could be you, could be me. We shouldn't sit by idly, accepting everything, all that we are told. I live on Avery Road. I live on Avery Road. I live on Avery Road.
All right, we're gonna play another one here.
Your silence breeds complacency. 2 years since 7 a.m. Now here I go again to confine innocent men in a 10 by 10. All fades, oh, neither men deserve. But fear breeds silence in Manitowoc. You don't say nothing 'cause you know your cops. But someone knows something, yet everyone plays ball. I say we round them all up. Let's brain fingerprint them all. Everything about the case, it was suspicious. I hope the Biden Chief of Justice are so vicious. For those who read the lie, they temporarily preserve. From time into typo to Brendan's so-called confession, to the fact that Peterson was out of town when she went missing. How can we forget Andy, Sam, William, Henry Call? I say we round them all up. Let's brain fingerprint them all. So much planted evidence now anyone can see. The magic bullet blood in the RAV. And even evidence that defies gravity. The key that turns up 7 searches later with none of her DNA at all. Let's brain fingerprint them all. I say we round them all up. Let's brain fingerprint them all. Who's pulling strings? I want to know that top rank. For those who pay attention, all the unbanked tank. Those that are smiling, they always know who would take the fall.
I like the funk on this one, Falcon.
I say we round them all up. Let's brain fingerprint them all. I say we round them all up. Let's brain fingerprint them all.
Crunch, you're gonna have to wait till tomorrow, buddy. The law clerks went home for the day. You're just gonna have to wait. I love it. I love it. All right, hold on. We got camera turned back on. Hello. There it is. Let's see. But I can be speciously or specially imported from my homeland. Hey, I have no debate about the fact that Captain Crunch is made in America. What I'm debating is whether or not the fictional character of Captain Crunch was modeled after a British admiral or sailor or captain. That's what I'm saying. Proof here. Look, let me look at it this way. Put it this way. Michael Myers is Canadian. He is obviously Canadian. It's quite obvious that he's Canadian. Okay? Yet he created a character named Austin Powers. Am I supposed to believe that because Michael Myers is Canadian, that Austin Powers is therefore Canadian? No. Austin Powers is clearly English because a Canadian 00 whatever agent wouldn't make any damn sense, would it? Would it? Huh? Captain? Anyways, You've been brainwashed, Captain. You just need to go sit down and let the lawyers handle it. Let your counsel work it out for you. I know they probably have you under many threats. You're just gonna have to sit tight till tomorrow, and we'll hopefully get Judge Wilfox in to resolve this. And we don't want to see if you've got a turtle head poking out. All right, buddy? We don't need to know. All right. Ooh, starting to get tired. So, yeah. What's this you're havering about here? I'm sure that this isn't Captain Crunch, by the way. I'm sure that this was something that they're forcing him to type. How many searches were done in Steven's garage in November when even the crackpot MTSO detectives Lincoln Colburn didn't find the magic bullet? I don't know. That's a good question, though, Captain. In the session court. Alrighty. Well, it looks like everybody's getting tired anyway. The numbers are starting to diminish. So I think that's our cue to go ahead and do one more Stacy song on the way out, maybe two. And I am getting tired myself, and it looks like the numbers are starting to drop. So that's usually a good sign to cue to Stacy. So I am going to talk to Stacy tomorrow. Hope to get him on tomorrow. I'd love to get him on and talk to him again. I know you guys love talking to Stacy. I know you ladies are just with your I do declares, so hopefully that'll be fun for you guys. Anyways, hopefully if I can get him on. So I'll talk to him tomorrow. Usually he's pretty cool. Usually whenever I ask him, he's really good about it. And I can tell he's kind of not comfortable being on camera. But hey, we got to get him used to that kind of stuff because hey, if he's going to be a big rock guy, he's going to have to get used to being in front of people, right? So we're doing him a favor, right? So hey, all right. Anyways, we'll get him. Anyways, hopefully I'll have Stacy on maybe tomorrow night with us when we're talking about Crunch. It'd be funny to hear him just like giggling in the background at us talking about such a ridiculous topic. But then I'll get him to do a live acoustic while he's here, while we're there tomorrow. So hopefully that's what I'll, pretty good chance I'll get it to happen. So, yeah, so you guys all have a great night. And we're going to go ahead and cue out to Stacy here.
Tick tock and into walk. Your silence breeds complacency. Tick tock and into walk. Stephen Avery, he shall walk free again. Where to start? I don't know.
So long ago.
Seems they had their
Sights on Avery.
Should have been out.
Well, there ain't no doubt.
All those
involved lacked integrity.
Tick tock and into walk. What kind of message are you trying to send? Tick tock and into walk. The truth always comes out in the end. Oh, like a curse.
October 31st, so they say. Something went down. Well rehearsed still. got the first with the story. I can't believe.
Tick tock, man into the wall. It was all fabricated, don't you see?
Tick tock, ran into a wall.
The blood, the bones, the key. Tick tock, man into the wall. Tick tock, man into the wall. Tick tock, man into the wall. There's something going on. Freedom is in danger. Agents of the state, they taking children from the manger. Oh, they will sacrifice your kid. Take Brendan Dassey, that's exactly what they did. They needed someone, oh, Jody wouldn't flip. They looked around, saw him quick. Oh, it made so much sense why. Oh, Brendan Dassey, he was Stephen's alibi. There's something going on in Wisconsin that's not kosher. We better stop and let's all take a look closer. Oh, they will sacrifice your kid. Oh, Brendan Dassey, that's exactly what they did. They visit him once, they visit him twice. They make him feel so safe. Sandwiches, soda, so nice. No cameras rolling and under no lights. Who knows what went on up in Fox Hill Monday night? There's something going on. Freedom is in danger. Everything about this can't get in stranger and stranger. All we know, they will sacrifice your kid. Oh, Brendan Dassey, that's exactly what they did. March 1st, alone in a room with Bert and Ernie. No parent present and no attorney. 4 hours later, with a touch of the knee, they finally get Brendan to agree. There's something going on. I say there's something going on. Oh, they will sacrifice your kid. Take Brendan Dassey, that's exactly what they did. There's something going on. I said freedom is in danger when the agents of the state can take the children from the manger. Oh, they will sacrifice your kid. Take Brendan Dassey, that's exactly what they did. Take Brendan Dassey, oh, that's exactly what they did.
Alrighty, folks. It's been fun. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe, and we'll see ya.